All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, guys. Good to see everybody. Happy Tuesday. Good to see you guys. Wave at me if you can hear me out there. Just making sure you can hear me. Okay, good. Perfect. Right, well, we have a special guest for you guys today. I'm excited about. And actually, the guest that I have with me, he's going to introduce himself to you guys. I want you guys to take down a lot of notes as we go through. He's got a lot of good information. This is actually from a previous session. I wanted to share it with you guys because I don't think you guys have had the chance to meet him or get a chance to see this session. So I'm going to share this video with you guys, and then after the video, I'm going to open it up for some questions as well. So take down some notes as we go through this here today. But I have Mr. Jack Maiden here, and let me just go ahead and pull that up for you guys. We'll get started. And then again, save your questions for the end. I'll have a few minutes to spend some time with you guys afterwards, but I'm glad you guys are here. Here is that video. Give me just 1 minute. There it is right there. Okay.
Hi, so I'll start again. My name is Jack Maiden. I'm the owner of Maverick Artist Agency here in Beverly Hills, uh, California. And I have been in the business approximately 34 years. I'll put on that. It's been quite a while. We're primarily a TV, film, and commercial agency. We do have a fashion arm as well, but I'm not here for that today. I'm here to talk about entering the acting world. The, uh, the sorry about that. I gotta try to put this phone down here. Anyways, so we'll talk about from the beginning stages. I can let you know what we look for and what we try to get guidance on, and that would be a lot of it has to do with your developing your techniques and your preparation for TV, film, commercial auditions, and also just getting in front of the industry itself. So what basically what we are looking for are people that are obviously inspired and want to pursue this. This is a very active, busy industry. It's got a lot of competition in it, but the good news is the industry for the most part is always in looking for and considering new talent. So I'll use that word talent, and that means you're developing your skill sets, uh, getting in with your training and things like that. That is going to just help prepare you for when you get your auditions coming in from the casting directors. For the most part, the casting directors. Sometimes they are other people that are casting, like in the production arm. They'll handle the whole process, but for the most part, the casting directors, they start off with reaching out. They reach out to all of us agents and agencies, and they give us the breakdown of what they're looking for. And then they also highlight what kind of skills they're looking for outside of just the skill of acting, like uh, physical physical skills that you might be good at, uh, like in the athletics world, or like even like dance. There's what we call a sorry, three categories of blanking here. If you have any dance background, that's better than average. Singing, especially if you can read sheet music, that's a great category. And of course, then your acting capabilities. One of the areas that I always like to see from new talent that we're scouting for is the ability to do improvisation. That's a real great area for training, and it really gives you the understanding of what to do and deliver without even, for the most part, a developed trained monologue or something like that. You would be given a topic, and then you will go ahead and, as it says, improvise, and you would deliver that improvisation scene for the casting directors. Improv also, what I like about improv is a lot of it is live, which is not when you're taking, but when you're studying, you do a lot of the improv live, and that's another great thing. The live performances are great training. So my recommendation for this area would be that you just pursue it, keep going at it, keep training, keep doing what conditioning is what I call it, and it just develops and develops, and then you find that how much you love doing it, and then you find in that zone you'll find more what you really like. A lot of people like the comic side of it, and some people like more the dramatic side of it, and some people find that they are right in the middle. So that's part of your skill set that you develop with your training over time. The other thing is, if you have the ability in your local areas, I know a lot of you are not, maybe the majority of you are not here yet in Los Angeles or New York. But the thing is, anytime you can get, like I say, in front of the camera, train, keep developing your skill set, and it will be it'll be a journey that's usually well worth it. It's look, someone can land something right away. I've seen it happen many times, but not a lot. But overall, it takes that building, developing, starting where you're starting, and moving forward and working with the progression there. And yeah, that's one of the parts that I really believe in as far as getting there. Now, to get an agent, all of this comes to play, and yeah, that's what it's all about. We're looking for someone that's working at it, that has a passion for it, and that enjoys the journey and learns their skills as they go along. The other thing I was going to say is on stage and things that your performances are live, you also tend to learn your surroundings and your awareness really well on stage. It's fantastic for that. The stage also, life development performances, they really kind of condition you to where you got to learn how to deliver it. And if everyone messes up, look at me. I couldn't get my computer to work for the sound today. But that being said, the more you're getting into that, the more that you'll see that the fluidness that will happen and the development that will go along. It's quite an experience the further you get your awareness around. And even on sets, when you're working on the commercial where they're filming and they're taping and redoing, which does give everyone a little bit of a better opportunity to get it right, especially giving pages. That something that you'll learn, the set, where the cameras are, understanding how those cameras are. All those things that come together are important, and they're also part of the training and conditioning process. Yeah, that's where I'm at with the live performance area. In an audition, so when we get to that stage, when you're getting called out, we call it. So you get an agent or a manager, and I should actually back up a little bit. Managers and agents tend to work together. Sometimes you get a manager before an agent, and sometimes you get an agent, and then the agency works with you to get to the point of also having a manager. It's really part of the team. It's a very team-oriented industry. So that being said, one of us submits or both of us actually submit on some of the jobs that are put out for the castings. And then if you get that call out, then obviously you're going to be asked for an audition. And on the audition side of it all, it's following what they're looking for. And, our job is to let them know that you are within that category of what they're looking for, especially if there's a skill set, especially in commercials. Commercials tend to have a lot of casting where people, can obviously deliver in front of the camera, but they also have a lot more specific skills, like all the time. So I'm sure everyone understands that. But on the commercial aspect, you've got to be able to deliver something. Let's say they're looking in someone that can for the Olympics, like right now, they're always looking for people that can portray an Olympian or sport in the Olympics. And they'll, as you'll see right now coming up, a lot of commercials are going to be for the Olympics in Paris at the end of the month. So those are kind of where the commercials differentiate. You don't have to be able to carry a role that you're cast for a long period of time with dialogue, I should say, and also just being on set. It tends to be a shorter process, and they usually, the way they tape it, they create roles, and then they go afterwards and they put the whole project together. And the goal I'm sticking with commercial at the moment, the goal with the commercials is once you film, obviously everyone wants to see, including yourselves, that you made the cut, that you're in the actual commercial, because that is the one thing that's, it's never guaranteed, even though if you shoot it until they actually make the final cut. When that happens, and I can explain that a little bit too, is that you'll get a booking for a commercial, and you'll get your session fee and all that stuff, and whatever else goes along with that. If there's any travel time involved, per diems and things like that. But then if you make the cut, then there's what we call the usage. And the usage is where you will make actually more money. You can make a lot more money if you book a SAG after union commercial. Most people start though really in the non-union world, and the non-union is good money. It can be good money, but it's a different pay scale completely. Union is residuals and the usage in a contract, and then you're paid. I'll just there's different categories, but let's say you get booked a national commercial. A national commercial will run cycles, 13-week cycles, and every 13 weeks, if they want to continue using the commercial you're in, then they will continue using you for the next 13 cycles. If they still like the commercial, but they're not sure that they do want to run it, let's say in the seconds after the first cycle and the second cycle, they do what we call a holding fee. And a holding fee is that the client has to pay this fee for the next 13 weeks. And they're otherwise, and the reason behind this is in SAG, it's called what we call a conflict. So let's say you do a car commercial. Let's say you do Toyota. Well, if they use you in the Toyota commercial, and so therefore, and that's our job, is you not be presented or proposed, submitted by us for another car commercial. That's what the conflict is. If they don't pay the next cycle and they don't pay the fee, then we can start submitting you again on different car. That's kind of union. There's not what we call a conflict unless the client wants to pay for an exclusivity. So therefore, you're free and open that space. incidentals, things like that. And then what they pay is a what we call a usage buyout, and that's all about the term. I like terms to be a year or less. The industry tends to push back at us and tries to make it long. Anyways, that being said, those are really the two differences between non-union and union. And also in the theatrical world, now I'll move over there. Theatrical, again, most people start in the non-union space. Sometimes people do book something that is a SAG union job that actually started off as a non-union, and then they get in there and decide that they want to go with the union, and then what that creates is well, they'll Taft-Hartley you, which is a process, and then they allow you a certain amount of projects that you can book after that before you have to actually join the union and you can do. So that's that, and then also TV, film. There's nothing wrong with usages or fees, at least in the beginning stages. If you happen to land something and then you continue doing it, like you see on TV, where you'll see a series with this, what we call series regulars. Series regulars are the ones that are always in the show, and what happens there. And also, guest stars are not always in every show, but if they're in that show, if the series continues after a certain amount of years, then what their usage in the union world is called residuals, and therefore residuals will pay in many ways, but that's how you make a lot more money. And then also the way you make more money is if you are in a series regular category, each season the rate will go higher, and then when the contract needs to be renegotiated, that's when you really see the serious money in that space. So the residuals really can pan out, and they'll last a long time, especially if they go into foreign countries, and the more the bigger you become, the fees dramatically also in the movie space. But in the beginning, backing up to the beginning of this, you want to build your credits, you want to build your resume, and your casting directors, especially in TV and film, they really take a look at that. So that's something to consider. When you start out, though, also remember one thing: everyone starts out with no credits. So that's the emphasis there. So if that concerns you, that because you're brand new, don't look at that as a negative. I look at that as a positive, because back to what I was saying originally, the casting directing for someone, for new talent, that someone that they've never tested out before. So yeah, that's the best I can tell you on that level. What else? I think that you also have to really feel it. You got to make sure that what the space that you're operating in is the program. And when I say that, I mean developing your not just your skill set, but your presence. The presence is important. So keep that in mind. But everyone's an individual, so you also have to have your individuality. Bring that to the table, because that to me is very authentic. And then as you get further into it, then it becomes really what they call it, acting. And you're able to deliver a character, a role that is presented to you, and the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. The more you get comfortable with it, you tend to see definitely more response. Yeah. And what else can I cover here? What else? Oh, I was going to say the other thing about it is they cast so much more globally now too, which is I find to be quite exciting. So, you have to be ready though. You have to be prepared. Once you're in for representation, uh, just keep in mind that this is a very serious business, and we take it seriously on the professionalism of being available, making sure that one is prepared for the audition and also the entire process as it goes through, especially if you book. So that's something that you always have to keep in mind. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff in the business, but it is a business, and you being an actor, you're creating for yourself your own business. So one has to take that to heart. Let's put it that way. It is very professional. There's definitely some glamour in the business. It's not as massive as people imagine, but or could imagine, I should say, because for the most part, it is really a skill set that's developed and for your own business. Yeah, and let's see what else. Dun, 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 dun. The other thing too is the creativity on your own part. The creativity is something that I think really kind of shines on your when you're doing an audition. And again, it's about yourself, your individualism, and I think that really, especially in this day and age, it's widened out so it's. I use the term scaled out so dramatically, where you're just again back to that, always looking for someone not only new, but they're also looking for the creativity. So you need to make sure you learn how to incorporate your own personal creativity into the process that will work for you in this industry. And again, it's everyone. I'm being general, but everyone has a lot of different skill sets, and sometimes those skill sets help you develop your creativity for those auditions, for getting in front of the camera. Excuse me. And Yeah, that's really important. On another category for this though, voiceover techniques. So here we do actually do voiceovers, but there are companies that are, or agencies, I should say, that is what they specifically do. Um, Voiceovers can be very, very good. So if that's something that interests you, again, it's practice, learning learning to understand how to project for a voiceover. I can give you one example. We do quite a bit of voiceover with Disney, and they once they get in with someone that they like and that does a nice job, and they book them, and they like their voice, and they see that how they are on camera, then people can actually start working quite a lot just doing voiceover, and we do have that. I can give you another example. Back to the commercial aspect for the voiceover category is that the back to the union. You can book a commercial. In fact, I have someone right now currently in one that is a union job. The young lady booked it originally as a person, a talent in the commercial. She did not make the cut actually for the being in the spot, which we were kind of bummed. But they turned around and came back and said that they wanted her to record and commercial. This commercial. I said earlier, they picked her up for voiceover. Therefore, is and has been now for, I'll say, 2 years now. She has been getting paid every 13 weeks for her voiceover. So there's another avenue that you can get into this industry and enjoy it. Some people find that they really just love voiceover, and they stick with that, and they just keep working and developing it, and they get in the door. It just depends which project, what company, and how they use it, and for how long. And then there's also, again, uh, residuals that can come out of this, and not even be in the spot. So that's one of my. Let's see, what else was I going to bring up here? Yeah, the other thing, nervousness. Nervousness is something that obviously it just comes hand in hand with this part of life, because everyone's got their own different nervousness, their own nerves. Everyone has to obviously figure out how to turn that into a positive energy, because that's the best thing you can do. You either have to learn how to get through that nervousness, or take that nervousness and learn how to turn it into an energy that helps benefit you. What I was saying, I don't know if you guys heard, but it's always been that way, and even today, there's very, very experienced, very talented, very actually prominent actors in this business that are still nervous right before every performance. And what, in my opinion, what a lot have been able to achieve is that they have developed and worked at getting through the nervousness or turning it into their energy with their skill set development. The more you really get your skill set to become a true talent, a true experienced actor, that's part of the process. You learn how in your acting that you get through that nervousness. So if you are, don't worry about it. That's the best thing I can say. Just keep going, and just eventually you smooth it out. But a lot of people never get rid of it. So if you're one of those candidates, you're not alone. How's that? And how's my audio? I'm okay. If I stick with the beginning stages of entering, since everyone is new from what I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume, but the session fee is your day rate. It's what you make that for your day. Let's say it's 8 hours or 10 hours. It tends to be 8, 10 sometimes, just non-union versus union. I can tell you, like on a non-union, it varies, but now commercially, then I'll go to acting for TV film. But commercially, it can be anywhere from 500 for a day, and it can go up. It can go up more, 750, that kind of a thing. And then, like I say, but keep in mind, a lot of stuff is shot more than multiple days, more than one day. So those fees can add up to a nice scenario. The usages is where you make your money, though, in non-union and in the union. So that's why you want, on the commercial level, you obviously want to make the spot. Everyone wants to make the spot. Let's be clear. And then what everyone then wants to do is hope that they like the commercial and you're in it, and they keep running it, because the longer they run it, that's where it can add up, even in non-union. Acting side, it's higher. It can be ultra low budget. It's a little complicated. But that being said, you're looking at session fees I mean, you can go as low as 300. I don't have it in front of me at 300 something, but we have people that work they'll work for 10 days at 1,000 a day for a show or a film. And the more you go up the ranks in that, then your day rate obviously increases. Long term, we like to get to what we call, I call it incoming, where you're seen, you're well known enough, and you get offers that are above and beyond what we're talking about now. And they come in. You're being offered before even having to read for a scene or anything like that. So there's a lot of avenues there, but you know, to start backing up to starting out, those fees I just gave you are pretty relatively in the zone.
I do have a question when it comes to starting off. Let's say you're auditioning for either a commercial or a film, doesn't matter which category. Is it common for that particular person that is auditioning to be referred to another category when they are auditioning? So let's say as a agent or as a manager, you're just reviewing whatever they are auditioning with, and you're conveying that possibly they might be better suited for a different project, but it's for a different category. Does that ever occur, or is it just
Oh
solely for
yeah,
that specific category?
no, it happens actually. I won't say all the time, but it frequently happens where, you know, the talent will be submitted and then they'll come back and say, actually, we'd rather put her in and we'd rather have her come in for this role and audition that. Or, you know, what can happen is you can go in for the role that you originally did, right? And then they will reach back out to us and say, hey, we really liked her, but she's not for that role. Can we have her please come back in and audition again for this role? And that I see quite a bit of. Yeah.
One is if somebody wants to sign up with an agency of your level, what's like the minimum skill set you'd be looking for? And the second question, by the way, yeah, to this one first.
Yeah, let's go first. Okay. That's subjective to several things, but I'll tell you for me personally, because I have agents that do different departments and stuff. So everyone has what they're looking for. They think they start off that way, but it's kind of like getting a different role, like the young lady before. It's like, well, you know what? Actually, though, I'd like to consider you for a different area than they started out with. But that being said, the rosters, a lot of people look at their roster and see what they're missing. Like if there's some gaps of representation. Me personally, I like people that are just starting out. I've always, but that's my background is when I started in the business as an agent, as an assistant, to be quite frank. I evolved into development, and so I was in development for a long time. So I still to this day get a lot of joy out of meeting someone who's just got something that I see that I feel has a lot of potential. And I love taking people on and guiding them and developing them. Yeah. So I think anyone can do this if they really put their heart to it, and they can do it. Start, like I said earlier, everyone starts. So you have to really want it, believe it, and just work at your skill set, and you'll find someone that will get behind you. And then that's when you start your team with the representation. But you do start. Okay, backing up. I just said myself personally, I like because of development, but you have to start then developing with your agent or your manager. I mean, you know, you're not. It doesn't behoove you to just wait, because then you're kind of waiting, if that makes sense. Even if you start with someone, you have to evolve and develop and work with them and in guidance. Where are you, in Germany?
Yeah, in Germany, but I trained in Australia, so I did 3 degrees in Australia. So
what? I lived in Germany. I was just
sorry. Near Munich, does the Bavarian forest say something to you? Like,
yeah, I lived in München. I lived
in
right
München,
off.
I was born there.
I lived right off the English Garden, between there and Marienplatz.
I know.
Now this was the 80s. Well, anyways, back to you. Let's go.
Yes. So if you live around here, actually ties in together very nicely. If you live around here and you want to be connected to an agency in the States, how does it usually work? So what's the process there?
That's very subjective. It depends. Every agency is different. So, you know, we all are in the same industry, but again, you just don't know. You don't know until you go through the whole process. You could get some going. Next thing you know, maybe you're not even anywhere you are in the States, you know. So I because of you've got some traction on our end. If someone's very interested and you are we'll call it on the international level of where you're based, it is more limiting. But that doesn't mean that it's not doable, because if someone really believes in your skill set and they want to represent you, then, a good agency knows how to work within the limitations, but with the objective to get a more fluid career between the company and the talent.
So, okay.
Hi.
So I was wondering, if I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, right? And would I be able to get an agent? Would there be a possibility of getting an agent in America, or would I only be able to get one near me?
There's a lot of film production that goes on up there, and we have a person that actually is a series regular that shoots up there in Vancouver. In fact, I think it's fourth season up there. So there's quite a bit of work. So sometimes if I guess why I'm going there is because you have two routes. You can get a work going through the Canadian market. And Vancouver actually has a market as well, but not like Toronto. And that being said, what happens then is you develop two things. Agents in especially in California, since you're 2.5-hour flight, I think. They could look at people that are up there that are good at acting and are Canadian, and submit them for the project shooting in Canada. That's another way to start with that. But the other option is getting enough going and through the Canadian markets, and therefore you can get representation in New York or Los Angeles as the next tier up, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I have a question, but maybe it will be like with the different questions.
Mm-hmm.
I know that mainly for a new talent, it's not very easy to find an agent. So what is the best way to approach to agent or to manager, mainly for a new talent? And does it make sense to look for one, or it's better for actor to look for a job by himself? I don't know, maybe like with the casting networks, Actor Access, Backstage, or something like that. And then it will attract with your work the agent or the manager.
Backing up a little bit. So let's start with what you have three categories. So let's start with the self-submit. So on the self-submit, it's done. No question about it. But especially in the commercial side of it, self-submits, you have to be careful, because first of all, and I'm not being negative, I'm just saying it's just a reality. Most people don't know what they're doing yet. So, you really got to read what they call the fine print. And if we represent a talent, and because we submit on casting networks all the time, all these breakdown services, you name it. We're working on those submissions all the time as well. But we're allowed. So when we submit, though, we have the ability to create a negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that ability on the self-submit. When you self-submit, you're self-submitting, and they say it in their register that you're self-submitting for all the terms that are put out on the breakdown. And even sometimes we'll submit someone, and if it's non-union, we'll put $signs next to them, and the casting director understands that here's someone we think is good for your breakdown, but we're not willing to accept your terms. And so if they're really interested in seeing you, then they'll reach back out to us and say, okay, what are your terms? And then we'll go in and we'll let them know that you'll come in on that audition, but these are the terms that you're coming in on. So that's the thing. But everyone, like I said, it's done, no question about it. Then give me the other two questions real quick.
A new talent is
the manager. Yeah, the manager between the talent agency and the manager. Yeah. So there goes. So I would do both. If you're looking for the representation, you want to meet both agencies and managers. The difference for in Los Angeles, especially, and also the union is, agencies we have what we call a talent agency license, and it's required by the state and all that stuff. Therefore, we're technically the ones that procure the work, and we also go collect the monies for the talent, and then pay them out. Managers, they do submit, they do procure, but they tend to work a lot more with the development. Either before if you're not getting an agency, they work and they want to represent you, they're going to develop you, they're going to get you out, but they're going to also work to develop you to get you to the stage they feel you will then get an agency. Does that make sense? So therefore, you want to try all avenues. That's my opinion, including the self. As long as just be careful with the self. I don't like to give too much advice, but the one thing I will say, if you are doing that, don't accept a booking with the word in the contract perpetuity, if that makes sense, because perpetuity means forever, and that means they can't stop. You can't make them stop using the commercial. How's that? If that makes sense. But yeah, on the manager and agency, I would go. Sometimes people get the manager and the agent at the same time, so you just never know. I tell you what, you don't know unless you try. How's that? Yeah, and now where are you based?
I'm in LA.
Oh, okay. Kind of overcast, huh? Anyways, well, yeah, I mean, right there you got, at least you're right in the same time zone, everything like goes along with that. And I would just keep building your development, your skill set, build your credits. Again, I'm talking in general, we don't know each other, but build your credits on your resume, and just keep going at it. Keep getting involved in scenes, in live performances. It's all conditioning. It's all live performance training is excellent. I mean, when I come across someone that's got live performance training on their resume, I definitely, and especially if it's a look that we don't currently have on our roster, I definitely will take a second look at it. If you get a callback, now callbacks, most of those, a lot of that's commercial, but if you get a callback, that means you've already auditioned, and a callback means that they've narrowed the field, usually very dramatically from the original auditions, and that you're a contender for the role. So then that's why I'm saying, then it falls back on, okay, how well are you mentally prepared? How well have you rehearsed if there's a role, especially speaking? Speaking is actually, that's a part I didn't touch on the commercials too much, because spokesperson roles in commercials, can be even way more lucrative than just being in the commercial. But that's for another layer. But the callbacks process can vary a little bit. But usually, if you call back and you're being brought into the room, as we say, usually you're now down to the directors in the room and probably at least one representative from the advertising agency that's funding the job. That it's for their clients, whoever they're representing. So that means it's prime time. Honestly, they're exciting. They're not as exciting if they don't choose you and they choose, but at least you see some excitement that, wow, okay, I did something that you went ahead and above the rest of the pack for that role. Does that make sense? Conditioning, training, conditioning, and keep up positive and just keep plugging away. Now, I didn't ask you, where are you based, or Reset?
I'm in Missouri, so I'm like in the
Okay.
middle.
You're in the middle too? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, you got Missouri. Hold on one second. That is a real up and coming market. Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. That's pretty close. That's a real up and coming market. In fact, what am I talking about? I've got, I have a series regular down there, and one of Tyler Perry's, actually two productions that just got brought back in. So, anyways,
for someone living not in the United States, in Europe, and trying to have some agent in the States. Is it possible for me to?
Well,
Someone like me, I mean, took so many acting classes and courses online.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Besides that, skills of kung fu fighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's a skill set.
is that a skill set? I thought only singing, dancing, that was a skill set.
No. What? Okay, well, let me back up a little. How good are you at this? Are you above average? Like, can you really deliver?
Well, I'm actually.
What
Sorry?
belt are you? What belt are you?
I don't understand it.
You say you do kung fu?
Yeah,
Are
kung
there
fu.
belts in? Yeah. What
No,
level are
no,
you?
there are no belts. There are no belts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got two styles.
I don't know this area.
Chinese, yeah, Chinese kung fu and the traditional kung fu. That's the wushu they call it.
Okay.
And I'm
And
training
what
the
yeah, and
wushu kung fu.
how's this question? How many years have you been training?
13 years, give and take.
Oh.
2 years of Corona. Let's say 11 years, 10 years.
That's a skill set. I mean, you put it on your resume. You don't put it as a credit or anything, but it's a skill set. I mean, if someone's casting they're casting a movie and they need 30 people that are, have 10 years of experience or more, you're going to get considered for something. That's the way I would look at it. So you want anything that you're, above average and or even professional. Those things are skill sets that should be on your resume. As far as international, I'm a big believer that, and it's been for a while now, but it's a global industry, and people find their ways into the States in many avenues. So just if you've been pursuing it, it sounds like you have. Just keep working at it. Just keep doing it, and just go for it. I can't, in general, I can't say how you're going to or get into the States because we just don't know each other. But that being said, you're just going to have to do a little of that homework on understanding how to develop that if that's your objective is the U.S. Okay, I mean, Europe's got some good markets. London is fantastic.
I've never tried. Always dreaming in Hollywood, So
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Hollywood is global now. I mean, it really is. I mean, look at the person before you. Atlanta is a market that's been really, I'll say, blossoming, right? But a lot of your big key decision people are still here, but a lot of your production is not here as it used to be. So that's the positive. I mean, I'm just trying to think right now. I know I'm since the beginning of the year. I think we've done at least a couple, maybe more, a couple movies in Italy with people. Let's see, did we shoot anything in France this year? Not yet, but we shoot over mostly. It's mostly Western Europe. It's a lot has to do with Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, England. Kind of, they have their own market. So you have to have a name that they want. Otherwise, they'll book it through the London agencies. But but over in Europe, you've got markets right there. That in those markets, if you get going, then you know what? That's how you get some exposure for the U.S. markets to take a look at you or consider that type of a thing, if that makes sense. My best piece of advice going into the industry, besides, well, first of all, I think there's more than one, but I feel like obviously positive conditioning, like I've been talking through this session, and I think that just be yourself, be natural, be authentic, and like I say, if you want this, you gotta do the work. You gotta train. You gotta keep plugging away. This is not a stagnant type of industry. It's always moving. It's always evolving and developing. So that's the key. Is just to keep going, because hey, at a certain point, there may be nothing really that's coming your way. But the more you train again, the more you put your program together, the more you're going to get response.
All right. So that was Jack Maiden. He, of course, is one of the great agents in the industry. We were glad to have him a part of our session there. And he covered a lot of things. A couple of points I want to just kind of reiterate that he did talk about for you guys here. Obviously, all of us are here trying to break into the industry. You guys want to become, known actors or models or whatever it is that you want to do in the entertainment business. And a couple of things that you can currently be working on, even today, is he mentioned at the very beginning, and then he kind of mentioned it a couple other times throughout, about how important it is for him to see on a resume that you have some sort of live experience within the industry. Okay, and he mentioned like improv. He likes to see improv classes on your resumes. He mentioned that he likes to see live theater or, those sorts of things. Obviously, projects that you're a part of, if you're a part of any projects, student films or any runway shows that you've been a part of, those are all great things to have on your resume. So that's what he considers when he's looking at a new performer, an up and coming performer, somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience in film or television. That is his key factor that he wants to see on those resumes. So, for this year moving forward, what can we do with that? We could look for local improv classes. We could look for local community theater opportunities. We can do searches to be a part of student film projects if you live near a college where they have a film degree available. Those students are needing actors, actresses to be a part of that. So those are some things that you can be doing right now. You can get online tonight and do some research and maybe find a few places in your area that you would be able to reach out to in within your community that you might be able to be a part of over the next few months, right? And all of that just gives you experience so that when you do get in front of somebody like Jack Maiden, you can show them, hey, I'm here, I'm ready, I want to be a part of this industry. And he sees that you have some live experience, and then he's willing to take a risk and represent somebody like yourself who's new. Those of you, I know some of you here are interested in acting. I know some of you are interested in modeling, different parts of the industry you guys are interested in. I want to encourage that if you're here just strictly for modeling, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, is I want you guys models as a talent manager, I encourage anybody who's interested in modeling and only modeling, I encourage you to also start doing stuff today that would help you become a better actor. And you say, well, wait a second, I don't want to be an actor. I'm not saying that you need to be an actor, but acting helps you with modeling. You have to be a performer. You have to know how to perform. You can't just be beautiful, right? You have to be able to get up on stage, walk a runway, perform within that show, or get up in front of the photographer and perform for that photographer. You have to be able to convey emotion within your photo shoot. You have to be able to perform. It's not just standing there and smiling in front of a camera, right? So that's why it's really good. I encourage models to seek out, basic classes or improv classes for acting because it's just going to help you grow as a person. You might be nervous about it, you might not really want to do it, and that's just going to get you outside of your comfort zone and really expand you and help you excel in this industry. The other thing too is every model I've ever worked with, every model I've talked to that have gone through a successful career, guess what the tip I've heard from every single model who's been successful in this industry that's had a successful modeling career, they always want to get into acting. It's 100% of them because they have so much fun as a model. They enjoy it. You know, years have gone by, they get paid for these different campaigns, and they think to themselves, I love being in front of the camera. And acting on camera, whether it be a TV commercial or a TV show or film, I would love to get paid to do that too. So even if they just started out and they only wanted to do modeling, they always want to transition and become an actor. You know, somebody like Don Benjamin, he won America's Next Top Model. I had him on my, you know, interviewing and on here with you guys, and he said the exact same thing. He had a very successful career as a model. He still is modeling. He's still paid for that. Right now, his current most successful campaign he's ever done, he said this when I was talking with him earlier this year. He won America's Next Top Model, right? He was the season winner. He was the first male model to win the show. But he even mentioned that his most successful, highly paid, he's currently involved with them, is a campaign for a jewelry company. And he is their their face of the company. Basically, he does, you know, all the photo shoots and the TV commercials with them for this jewelry line. I believe it's called Jackson. And I just saw a commercial of his. In fact, not too long ago, I was watching a football game and you know, he came on and it was a Jackson commercial. But again, you know, as a successful model, and that's what he wanted to be, and that's what he's done with his career. He's still modeling, but he wants to get into film and television. And he just released a movie, his first movie ever, just came out a few months ago, called Him, I believe. So check him out on that movie. But again, so I encourage all you models, even if that's all you think you want to do right now today, what's going to expand you and give you more opportunities, uh, potentially bigger paychecks, is to learn some acting skills. So I hope that helps today. I know that Jack mentioned a lot of things. You guys might have some questions for me. I have a few minutes. I have about 10 minutes I can stay on here with you guys. So I wanted to open up for any questions you guys might have for myself or for what Jack talked about. Feel free, raise your emoji hand if you do have a question for me, and I will call on you. Make sure I see everybody. There is one person called Zoom user on here, so I don't know your name, but any questions from anyone? This time, this is a new time that we've set up for these sessions. I know that we've had some issues with scheduling them in the past and trying to get people trying to find the best time possible. But this time, I felt over the last couple of weeks, we figured out that this is probably going to be a good time. So we're going to try to stick to this time every week on Tuesday. So we'll try not to change it on you guys too often. I think this is going to be a good scheduled time for us to be able to join you guys. Hopefully that's good for you guys wherever you're joining me from today. Any questions for me? Any industry questions? Anything about what Jack talked about? He talked a lot about resumes. He talked a lot about, you know, different opportunities. He talked about commercials. Oh, and if you're joining late, I know a few of you kind of popped in here kind of halfway through. If you're joining late, this session will actually be posted. I'll put it here in the chat for everyone. I'm going to post this. This will be posted tomorrow. I'm going to try to do that continuously. So our Tuesday sessions, we would love to have you live. You can, you know, that way we can talk to you and answer questions. But if for some reason your schedule doesn't allow you to be here with us on at this time for whatever reason, I'm going to try to post it within 24 hours. So this is the channel. It'll be posted on there. I just dropped it in the chat for everybody. So if you want to copy and paste that, save that somewhere. I'll try to have them as much as my schedule allows for. I'll try to have them posted within the next 24 hours. So that way, and you can also go back and rewatch them in case you missed something or you wanted to rehear all the good information. We'll have different industry reps and different people on these sessions every week, so you're going to learn something new dealing with the entertainment business, mostly acting and modeling. I do have a few people I have on these sessions that are involved in the music industry as well. If those are anybody's interested in music, out there. But yeah, so we'll have a whole variety of people coming up over the next few weeks. So copy and paste that in the chat. I dropped in the Zoom chat for you guys. If you did miss part of the session or want to rewatch it, feel free to do so. Any questions though before we're done with today's session? Anybody have any questions? Hopefully you guys are enduring the snowstorm. I know there was a big snowstorm this last week here across the US, those of you who are in the US and Canada. I know you guys have been, everybody's been kind of dealing with that a little bit. I had no snow where I'm at right now, so I didn't have any snow happening, but it was quite chilly. Questions for anyone? No questions? Okay. Well, raise your emoji hand if you do have a question for me. If not, it's good seeing everybody. I hope you guys are having a great 2026 so far. Last week of the year, and we will see you this Saturday. If you check out in the members lounge on the calendar, this Saturday there will be a session as well. So make sure you check that out. I'll let you know who our special guest is on Saturday. I haven't had a chance to go in there and update that. If you do have a question for me, also I am in the members lounge. So feel free to find me on there and reach out to me. I do check that regularly, so I will try to get to your answers as soon as I can if you guys do have any questions. But if not, it's good seeing everybody, and I will see you guys on Saturday. Have a good night, everyone.